year ago, I finished an Infernum Let's Play for the first time playing as a rogue. I said that I would... something like this. Oh shit, here we go, what was I saying? Since the beginning of this channel, I have been doing all sorts of things, from item showcases to full movies, from stupid memes to hard challenges and so on. However, there is something that I have been avoiding and I almost did it but died to a specific someone. After a lot of training, regaining game knowledge and skill, I was ready again. I am Phantasm and I have finished Infernum Hardcore. Hello there, dear Terrarians, I hope you are all doing well. Welcome to probably my hardest run so far. Well, you know that I have tried this before but died to the Devourer of Gods, but now I am back better than ever and ready to finish Terraria Calamity on the Infernum difficulty. I will divide this run into chapters, there being 6 in total. This is the first chapter, the introduction, where I will present the plan for the early pre-hard mode stage. I start this run as any other, chopping down trees, opening the starter bag, making some houses for the NPCs and so on. The primary goal would be to get some basic starter gear such as the double jump bottle and Hermes boots, life crystals, gems for a grappling hook, and some other materials that might help me a bit later. Speaking of bosses, there are 3 main bosses to be defeated in this chapter, each playing a key role in this run. The Eye of Cthulhu, which unlocks several helpful alchemist NPCs, the Eater of Worlds, which unlocks access to Hellstone, which can be also done with the Reaper Shard, but that's cringe, and the Slime God, which gives the material for the best weapons from pre-hard mode. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I found a cave near the spawn and to my surprise there was a dead end with sandstone bricks. I think you all know what that is, right? It's a pyramid and I easily located the entrance, so now it's just me mining some sand blocks to get in. Inside, there it was. Would you look at that? The sandstorm in a bottle, the best double jump accessory, perfect to have early on. Thank God. I continued going deeper and deeper and found a cabin, and I got to admit that I have prayed for Hermes boots. It would have been just perfect. Scripted run type shit, that kind of perfect. After getting out, I stumbled upon a Xenidrian reminding me that I should definitely try the Fables mod, which reworks the poor seahorse that got bullied a long time ago. Well, it's gonna happen again if I plan on playing that mod, which I definitely will. Alright, the adventure continues in the forest biome where I find some tall trees that can give me some cool surface loot, but can also get me killed if these little guys keep on spawning. Well, heck no, bro's no match for my uncatchable sandstorm in a bottle. I think that no more than 8 minutes have passed and my inventory already looks like a Walmart deposit. After reaching the jungle, I started working on some houses and ended up with an architectural wonder, a really rare build by yours truly. After that, it was the time to do one of my favorite things in this world, nah, I'm kidding. But I'm still getting infinite money, and in case you are asking how, well, why not check the setup from the background? I think you already are familiarized with this concept, especially if you have been watching my videos for the past few months. It took a while and be sure that it was worth it. Back home, I checked if there was any weapon that I could craft and there it was, the Wolfram controller that makes me feel exactly like this. Good news, there is a cave on the left side of the spawn. Straight into the cave I go. Maybe I should also say something regarding the early grinding process. Well, basic ores are needed for an armor set, say for example gold, and then I also want a lot of demonite for the Light's Bane, but why? Well, you see, after going through all the classes, one conclusion was that for this stage the melee class was the best. The main goal before the first boss would be to get full HP, good mobility, kill the goblins and most importantly get the Blade Crest Oath Sword. I will let you enjoy a short montage of this early caving session since I don't want to commentate such things. Enjoy! So yeah, a lot of mini tasks have been completed, leading up to this point where I was ready to explore the underground jungle as well without being scared of death by any means. There are a few things that I would like from here, considering that I might also like a mage loadout just for the sake of it. So yeah, I guess enjoy this part that might raise nostalgia if you're a veteran from at least Terraria 1.2. I wasn't going to die to a random jungle enemy that had no purpose. Anyways, I managed to get a full jungle armor set along with mana stars overdose and the mana rose, which was pretty nice to have early on, considering that I will have to kill demons in the underworld. I checked the dungeon early on and it was green, so I knew where the shimmer would be, between the beach and the jungle. Yes, see, I was right. Now, let's get those permanent upgrades and also make some houses in here for a pylon and quick access. Early in the morning, I got this. Sounds great, but if you have a piercing weapon or a lava lake, which in my case wasn't true at all. So I guess I'm going down, getting the lava bucket and eventually reaching the underworld and hoping for the best. By that I mean hoping that demons will spawn. Spawning wasn't really the problem, but fighting kinda was, especially when such things could happen. That would have killed this run. Maybe boxing the demons might be better, that was an option, but the one to drop the sword didn't fall for the boxing trick, so I had to dodge a little. With the sword in my hands, it was the time to take on the goblins and I totally forgot about the lava bucket. But why use the lava bucket and hide like a child? Why not be brave and swing the sword back and forth while some crazy ass ultra realistic projectiles kill all these goblins? Anyways, they're all dead. Now, it's time to look for the one and only, the stinky goblin. Yeah, 5 minutes and he was nowhere to be found, so I figured, why not go in the cave layer, do something actually useful such as an arena for Crabulon while also hoping for the goblin to spawn. Well, said and done, and there he was, ready to take all my money because he is greedy like that. But at least I can reforge and get accessory upgrades, which, if you ask me, is crucial in such runs. Accessory after accessory, pumpkin man, reforge after reforge, sleeping hour after hour. It was the time to start something, but wait, I'm still missing some lens. Took a while to get 6 of them, and you might know from my other runs that I hate waiting for demon eyes to spawn and also drop some cheap materials only to be used to craft this, which I wasn't fortunate enough to get from chest. Well, here we go, I suppose. just say that 100 HP run really helped for this part of the game, and you will clearly notice that. Now, one boss taken down, let's see what is the outcome of that. Would you take a look? Yeah, that was sweet, but this chapter continues in the corruption biome when I was about to start the second fight. Just a problem, eaters won't really spawn, and when they did, they didn't drop chunks. It took a while to get this spawner, but there it finally was. Enjoy! I don't know what exactly killed them right there, but there we go. The second key boss, if I can say so, has been defeated without any problems. This could have been easily skipped via fishing, but again, not only that's cringe, but it's also taking a lot of time if unlucky, which in my case happens quite often. So yeah, Nightmare Pickaxe, enough pickaxe power to mine the next ore, so guess where I'm going? To the rock bottom, as the game says. Since I got a new PC and now I have all my achievements reset, with all that hellstone, it was obvious that I was going for an entire molten armor set. After all, I'm going to stick to playing the melee class for the rest of pre-hard mode. Now, it was time for one risky fight. No preparation for this one, just freestyle. Yeah, lots of defense and positive regen really helped during this part where I really didn't mind getting hit. All good on paper, slime got defeated. Now, where are the weapons? Well, not possible yet, no solidifier yet. Let's just solve that. Pretty nice to start a brand new chapter with small boss fight, not gonna lie. Yeah, chapter 2 started and it's all about defeating the remaining bosses from pre-hard mode, ending with a wall of flesh. Statigel armor, all sorted. God's Gambit, no need for more. here I was about to fuck up really bad, but in comparison to my first run, no save and exit, no recalls, no magic mirror this time. I don't really know what happened back there, probably the fact that I was still one-sticking the run and almost 3 hours have passed, hence me being brain dead like I am when I'm streaming at 1 AM. Skeletron dead means battle cry, going to the dungeon and getting a Muramasa, also getting a cobble shield despite not wearing it at all, saving the mechanic from this cruel place, and finally crafting the Night's Edge and reforging it. I went to this Drayden laboratory to represent my country, being all proud and taking everything from here. Then I wanted to craft some insta-bridges when this happened. Damn, fuck off. Well, I made the Underworld bridge and that was it. Actually no, not yet. Terra Spark boots left to be crafted. Now I was ready for real. And with that, the pre-armored stage has been completed and it was incredibly easy, despite me almost dying to Horny Skeletron lol. Welcome to the third chapter of this run, the early days of hard mode, the part that used to be really scary in my previous run and the part that ate my soul with Honey Mustard in the 100 HP run. This chapter starts straight with a repeated invasion against the Stinkerers. A powerful weapon that I could easily acquire and use it in the new feature was the Shadow Flame Knight, so bye bye Goblin Warlock. Then, next up, alcoholism, my favorite. Now, what am I even doing in the snow biome? Well, you might remember how I was doing fishing early in hard mode in order to get Mithril and Adamantite way faster than supposed. How about I don't do that anymore and still get a really strong loadout? It's early hard mode and there is only one weapon that I can think about, a weapon that could carry me up until Golem or even after. How about I defeat Cryogen with the melee class, switch to Rogue, defeat Prime, switch to Mage, defeat the Destroyer, switch to Rogue again and take down the Twins as well. I will let you enjoy yet another grinding montage that doesn't require commentating. Maybe I could have gone for something a bit better? Maybe, but this was fine as well, despite me being careless, and you will see. Yeah, that was a bit too close, honestly. I don't know why I get so cocky and careless most of the times. I should really fix that issue. Anyways, it's time for the class change for the first time, switching to the role class and getting the best boomerang to ever exist. I continued with expanding the arena upwards, then with some accessories changing, some proper reforges made by the one and only Stinkerer, and that was it. I was ready for the first mech, Skeletron Prime. The Wyvern wanted to spice up things, but it was too late. The Prime Minister has been defeated. Now, I got Mithril, and Mithril has a lot of meanings. Mithril Ambient, used to craft most of the things from hard mode. Mithril Armor has an incredible set bonus. Wyvern Skull, the mage weapon to take down the Destroyer in a really short time due to really high DPS. Also got the Counter Scarf since I might have to ram the boss. Those fucking bombs that ate me alive. Almost died to them, fuck off. Now I got Adamantite, and Adamantite has some meanings as well. Adamantite Forge, used to smelt all yours onwards. Adamantite Pickaxe, used to mine some Infernal Suvite, but not only that, you can also mine the Cryonic Ore, which was a must at this point. I could craft a brand new armor set and the Ornate Shield, which are always nice to have, and also the Starlight Wings, which was a little bonus if paired with the Daedalus set. I also really needed wings instead of the bundle of balloons for the next fight, since I will have to spin a little. Heck yeah, Twins defeated as well, all 3 mechs defeated with ease. Look how Drayden watches me. Bro can make crazy machinery like Ares, but cannot afford a UHD screen lol. Do you like my base of operations? Say yeah out loud, come on! Okay, nice. By the way, this is still the 3rd chapter, and in case you are already thinking about the next boss, well, nope, it's not going to be Fish Run, but it's not going to be Plantera either. Until I will get to talk about yet another class change, I will let you enjoy another jungle grinding session with some cool music. that was it. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, the class change. Well, after the 100 HP run, I have learned that the Mega Shark with chlorophyte bullets is a strong combination in Calamity as well, especially against one particular boss with a small hitbox probably the same as mine. Before I get there, let me do a life root overdose, change the class of the emblems, get the boots and balloons upgrade, and yeah, that's it. Enjoy! Dead. The animosity is mine, and with it I can easily continue with my spawn boss rush, this time against Ostrom Aureus. Here we go, yet another freestyle fight complete with success. Now it was the time for Fish Run, with way better weapons that could easily take it out and also destroy the bubbles if it's the case. So here I am in the mushroom biome looking for truffle worms. Honestly, one would have been enough, but having the spawner is fine as well. Some semi-station plays down later, I was ready for the fight that marks the end of the third chapter. Yeah, welcome to the fourth chapter of this run, a chapter that has the same structure as the second one, as in defeating the remaining bosses before the major brings a lot of changes to the game. However, there are different twists this time, as expected, because you know, I am Phantasm and I like doing certain skips in order to gain some unfair advantage against certain bosses. Now, quick question, is this loadout cool, guys? Why am I even asking this? You already saw this loadout at least 3 more times before. Anyways, I guess that yet another boss rush will start and I will only commentate from time to time. Bro got deleted. No, I mean bro got obliterated like never before. See, this is what I love about quality of life mods. Look at that, no need to look for any frozen chest in the dungeon. Anyways, I still had to get into the dungeon since I wanted to farm some ectoplasm, and this grinding session was kinda nice, with me using the battle cry, totally unaware that the skeleton snipers still exist and can easily kill me like it happened in other non-hardcore runs. Yeah, at some point I boxed myself and decided to play more safe since I wasn't willing to lose such a run to an idiot sniper that had a once in a lifetime chance to kill me. Spectre armor, all good, all sorted, all nice. Whatever else is to be said to emphasize the fact that my loadout is actually insane. Now, next stop, Golem. Well, Golem drops the pickaxe that can be used to mine the scoria ore. Just one problem, I cannot really dive into the abyss without the diving gear and there is not really much scoria to mine, so I guess I will get it via Ravager treasure bags. Yet another problem. I wasn't willing to defeat Ravager at this point by any means, so the only solution to all these imaginary problems would be to skip everything and go straight for the lunatic cultist, considering that this loadout is not really different to the one I would have had. What the heck was that? After that 100 HP run and still, I wasn't able to no-hit this boss or at least did not get close to dying. That was really close, for yet another time, but here we go. The cultist has been defeated, meaning that I can get some of the best weapons from vanilla Terraria. Step 1. Gather more than 100 Instagram brain rot enjoyers. Step 2. Unleash hell on them. Step 3. Profit. Heck yeah, one pillar down, free to go. Now, with the Nebula Blaze, I felt like I've really had a chance in absolutely obliterating Ravager, so let's see how this goes. There we have it, Ravager defeated, scoria problem all sorted. I can easily get a lot of treasure bags and get a shit ton of bars. Now that I had the scoria bars, I could finally craft the Sigil of Calamitas, which wasn't really a game changer, but it was nice to have it. I also got yet another life root upgrade, meaning that I get even more HP, unlike in my 100 HP run, where these things will never be crafted. How sad. Next up, the Solar Pillar, and I'm taking my time with this one, taking down the enemies one by one while trying to maintain maximum HP. I really hope how the Nebula Blaze performs against these enemies. The homing feature really makes this weapon a 10 out of 10, the same as the Razor Blade Typhoon. Now, what if I told you that there is a weapon that is a 20 out of 10 and has no homing, and I can also get it right now? How about I defeat the Dragon Poly before the Moonlord? Is this move risky? Will I get close to dying? Probably not, most likely yeah, we don't know yet. Actually I do. So let's see how this goes. Amazing, a post-Moonlord boss defeated early on. As I said, I like to do certain skips and get incredible loadouts, then shred some other bosses as a revenge for the amount of times they have killed me in the old good days when Whip didn't exist. Here we go, the Rogue Slash, a 20 out of 10 weapon, a weapon that can easily destroy not only Moonlord, but also the Guardians and Providence, but hey, that might be a bit too much, right? I have another plans for the Guardians and Providence and we are not there yet, that's chapter 5 stuff. Yet another task that has to be solved is the Abyss and the Death Cells and Luminal Generation, and it all comes to defeating the Siren and the Fat Fish, which, honestly, actually I'll let you watch. I mean, it's a pre-golem boss defeated with a post-cultist weapon. I did not expect anything different, considering that I'm still playing as a mage and didn't switch to like javelins only or something that was really annoying at this stage. Next up, the Stardust Pillar, my beloved one from Calamity, the easiest one in Vanilla and the hardest one in Calamity. Actually, what if I told you, there is a really easy strategy that I could use to avoid getting hit by those brain rot enemies whose projectiles are faster than me when I see the last white monster on the shelf when I wake up. What if I actually have a roof? Homeless? Just buy a house type shit. Not only that, but the Rogue Slash also helped a lot since the projectile could travel through the blocks. It was just amazing. It was all coming together. 3 pillars down, 1 to go. I cannot really tell what happened with this one, with the portal spawning in the hole where I was staying, considering that I have a block to cover myself, not 2. And it's not the first time when this happens. But anyways, I destroyed the shield, then took out the last pillar, then took off and got emotionally ready for the last fight from this chapter. Enjoy! Yeah, I got to admit that the 100 HP run really helped for this part of the game, and so with Moonlord shaking I knew that 2/3 of this run is over. Unfortunately, these were the easy parts, the parts that I have been mastered already in my previous Infernum run. I did not do a part 2 for the 100 HP run and most likely won't do any since I care about my mental health, even if it might seem like I don't. That means that I didn't really get to learn how to no-hit these bosses. Well, there is no need, as long as I take 2 or 3 hits and still survive and regenerate HP, it's all good. From now on, it's just going to be freestyle with all the knowledge regarding loadouts for every boss. Welcome to chapter 5, which will start with yet another grinding montage that I don't want to commentate because I don't feel like it. all that grind and I was ready to do one more final skip, a skip that might cost me the run, a skip that, if done properly, it would allow me to easily get past the antagonist from this run. You know, that one, the wiggly one, the one that, with a single bite, can cause violent Romanian fist to hit the table that barely survives. Enjoy the freestyle fight against Poltergeist. Yes, I was really scared by the fact that all the time spent up until now would be worthless, and guess what? I did not calm down. From now on, it's just going to be stats increasing. By stats, I don't mean damage, defense, regen, and so on. I actually mean heart rate, stress levels, and such stuff, which combined with some more stress from real life, college, and insomnia could lead to some stuff that I hope I will not get to experience. Yet another big boss defeated, yet another grinding montage. Honestly, I love making these rather than commentating. Yeah, what happened back there is that I thought it was an Eidolon worm instead of the Reaper Shark, so that's why I ran away. There it finally was, the one and only jacked-ass Reaper that uses a pepper spray under the water. Yeah, honestly, it was no match for me with my powerful weapons. But guess what? Now I get even more powerful with the Omega Blue armor, which is kinda risky to use in this run, but hey, I will only use it against 2 bosses, I swear. Oops, miscalculated, it's actually 4 bosses, not 2, and it's not because there are 3 guardians, no, that's not the case. Speaking of which, let's also get over with the guardians and Providence. I got to admit, these 2 particular bosses with post-poltergeist weapons and the Omega Blue armor are just a joke. If only the Exomex and Supreme Calamitas would have been like that. think Providence didn't even get to comprehend what just happened, but do I give any damn? Not at all. Just fuck you with your crystal and beams and so on. Oh hey, it's the antagonist. Hi, how are you doing? Well, it's not far until I get to fight him again. Honestly, I am ready for the rematch, now that I know what weapons to use and how to dodge properly and not have lag issues anymore. Chapter 5 going so far so good, after one scary part that ended well for me. I guess I deserve to eat something tasty as a celebration. Yeah, I was getting there. I was reforging my loadout to get the maximum damage possible. The last time I was reforging in order to get defense. I was really stupid to believe that true melee and full warding would keep me away from a one-hit situation. It didn't. The Devourer of Gods ate me while I was almost full HP. Surviving for a bit longer than expected is definitely not the solution in this run. This run is about brute force. This run is about absolute destruction. This run is even about cheesing, if I can say so. Don't tell me that the 100k DPS is not cheesy. I will use the same old and cheap strategy of mine with the quick recalls. I don't want to risk dashing horizontally. I might mess that up and then have to improvise while my heart and brain are not collaborating at all. That might lead to dying. I want to avoid that, so here I am, playing Infernum Ranger for one more time. If you know what happened in that run, well, guess what's going to happen again? Yes! There we go, the antagonist has been defeated. Also, I can take a look at the sorry background and say that I got past the part that I was the most scared of. Thank you God. Thank you Omega Blue Armor. Thank you Hades Inferno. Let's set up the keybuys really quick and continue with this amazing run. This has been chapter 5, welcome to the 6th and the last chapter of this run. Honestly, even if I was to die to the events, this would have already been a way better run compared to the first one. Yeah, let's throw that doll away. I know what that does. Well, a new chapter, a new grinding session without any commentary. I swear I should do more of these, they're fun to edit to be honest. I guess I will have to mention something. Here's where I fucked up really bad, but for once, Gods of Quality of Life mods and Terraria decided to forgive me and let me survive. This is the biggest mistake that I did in this run, trying the Primordial Worm without any training, pure freestyle. Well, why not see how I messed up and almost died? Heart was racing at this point. I have been close to dying for way too many times. Some might say that I should have died, and yes, I totally agree with you on that one, and if that was to happen, I wouldn't have been mad. I'm lying, I would have smashed my table at least 5 times. Here we go. The Infernum exclusive Primordial Worm has been defeated and I got my hands on some of the most powerful weapons. Honestly, this was too much for me, and you have to keep in mind that I have been playing since post-golem during this seed. The heart was racing, the stomach was making bass noises, the eyes got dry. Basically my body told me, Phantasm, go touch some grass outside and maybe get dinner and some sleep. So I did. Early in the next day, at around 2 PM, because that's when the morning takes place for me, I started playing again, knowing that this 6th chapter might end anytime. Well, anytime, but not now. Not against Yaron. There was like no way of me dying to the jungle dragon. Enjoy. I told you, I am not going to commentate for a while. Enjoy what comes next. I'll see you after meeting someone else and maybe demolishing him. That has to be the luckiest Exomex attempt ever. From dodging Apollo and Artemis like never before, to dodging Thanatos and taking him down without activating any cooldown, from easily taking down Ares as well, and to almost messing up the fight during the desperation phase. This was pure cinema. Let's flipping go. This might actually happen. Now, you see, on paper, the idea that I have defeated the Exomex was more than amazing. This would be an amazing video already even if I would die to Supreme Calamitas. However, for my mental state, I wanted to get over with this for real. I wanted to take her down by any means. Just one major problem. I did all the let's plays hoping that I will get to master these fights and do something close to a no-hit. It was not the case, especially for the post-Muller part, where the only two bosses that were mastered were Dog and Yaron. What I did was to gain knowledge regarding loadouts, and that doesn't really help for this run. You have noticed in my old clips that I don't manage to gain consistency, but rather try to find cheesing strategies such as using the Eye of Cthulhu spawners or just playing until I defeat it in a random attempt where I get lucky with the dashes and dodges. Doing such things in this run might either get me killed or get me with an undeserved victory and hate comments, because that's how things work in 2025 unfortunately. There was no way I was going for the melee or ranger class. The summoner class required too much grinding and it would have been problematic with the sepulture, and it's kinda the same for the mage class. 4 classes eliminated. Now what? Well, never forget that Calamity has 5 classes, the 5th one being the one that I played with for the first time on Infernum. It wasn't a great experience, right? It was really painful, right? But you know what you might be overlooking? 1. The fact that Celestus can one-hit the sepulture. 2. The fact that the Dreamtastic exists. 3. The fact that it took me a really small number of attempts to defeat Supreme Calamitas in my first run ever as a rogue. I am going to end this exactly how it started, a rogue Phantasm against Supreme Calamitas. No more ranting, enjoy this finale as much as I did. Yes, she's so going down. She's not killing me anymore. I cannot believe this is finally happening. Heck yeah! I don't even care that I fucked up really bad at the beginning and at the end. I don't care that I almost died for like 3 times. It's over. I finally did it. This is it. Terraria Calamity, the Infernum difficulty. The run finished with 0 deaths. The heart was racing at an incredible pace and the table got one more hope that it won't get smashed aggressively for another time. What was once a joke became today a reality. Almost a year ago, I have failed this challenge. Today, I finally bring you the attempt where I win, and to be honest, this is my 3rd attempt actually. The second one ended 1 minute in the game in a corruption chasm because of fall damage. I want to give a huge shout out to the Infernum team for creating such an addictive mod. You know, I said that I will never play this again, right? Such a liar that I am, to be honest. There is one thing left to be seen, so I could sleep well from now on. Let's check the Drunk Princess. A dream came true, and with that, a brand new video that I love spending time on working on it. Every second, from recording to the montages, from the music selection to writing this commentary, from making the plan for the run to thinking if I should go freestyle the endgame bosses or not. This is how much it took. Again, thanks to quality of life mods that really helped me with the time saves, the infinite money trick, the operator that sells treasure bags, the infinite buffs and the insta bridges. Yeah, I can finally disable Infernum and not play it for a long while, unless you guys keep saying that I should continue the 100 HP run, which might actually happen next week. Nah, I'm kidding, I'm definitely taking a break from Infernum since I have to focus on real life stuff for this part of the year. I guess I will see you around with some chill gameplay. If you watch up until this point, damn, huge respect that you are still here. You can find a lot of details about this video in the description, such as the music that I have used, the mod list, timestamps for the chapters and the overall ratings. Other than that, I would love to thank you all for taking your time to watch this, and if you enjoyed it and you are not subscribed to my channel yet, consider doing it. Also, don't forget about the likes and the comments, as they also help. Well, I don't actually think there's anything else to say. Bye bye, see ya.